Hello everybody, my name is Lance Rhodes. I am a visual artist here in South Carolina, born and raised. Today, I want to talk to you guys. It's been a while since I've been on YouTube. So hello YouTube family, thank you guys for coming to this video. If you are here, then clearly you know that this video is about HIV and my unique HIV story. I want you guys to bear with me because it's my first time actually coming out publicly. This is actually my first time, giving my full testimony. 2019, I want to say around May-ish was when I found out. My unique story, pretty much, the same, pretty much the usual. Us as millennials, somehow we have a tendency to think that we're invincible and that we could just live life to the fullest, and things happen. You know what I mean? During this time, I wasn't wearing protection. I was being reckless with my body. It's an aspect of all of us. It's a learning process. You get what I'm saying? Throughout this life, some of us, we know the deal. We know that these diseases are out there. All of us are aware of this, but we never think that it could be us. You know what I mean? So, my unique story, it ended up happening. It just ended up being that, I ended up, having sexual intercourse with someone who I felt didn't really know his status. You know what I mean? In the process of this, I was in and out of the hospital. I actually found out through, I had what's called a, I basically had an abscess. It's called a perirectal abscess. So I had to actually go through surgery in order to have this removed. Now, during this process, it was very painful, very embarrassing. I was in the hospital, just in so much pain and just a lot, and there was already so much trauma going on with me as is, because I didn't know what was going on with my body. I've always been one that's been in tune with my body. So, during this process of having this surgery done, it beat me up. It beat me up pretty bad, and I had to go through this whole process of healing myself and going through all of this, But I actually found out while, after my surgery, when I got fed up and got to the point where I was going to unplug and just go get out of the hospital because I was fed up, that's when I got the news that there was more. So, I must say that the one thing that got me through this was, of course, the Most High God. Giving my mom the news, giving my uncle the news, it just took the breath out of them. Me telling my family, it took the breath out of them. Even my cousin, she broke down, and I in that moment I had to gain the strength, and I told her, I said, I'm not going to give up on my life. I'm not going to give up on my life. Yes, this happened. This happened as a result of me not valuing myself. It happened as a result of me not honoring my temple, not honoring my body. One of the hardest things that I went through during this time was the closing part of it, having closure. Sometimes when these things happen, guys aren't fully aware of their statuses these days. It's just a simple fact. A lot of people, they feel it's better to not know. And I think the hardest part for me going through that process was understanding that someone could have very well maliciously have transmitted this to me, and otherwise someone could have done it in ignorance. And the fact that I didn't know was what tore me up the most. Now leading up to this situation, like I said, I've had many guys who were HIV positive, didn't tell me, but still, try to, either have sexual intercourse with me or be with me or whatever the case may have been. I was never one to have pretension when it comes to HIV. I was kind of always pretty educated on it. However, I didn't know what my doctor actually told me, that if you are a manly, like top, if you're the one that's doing the giving, if you will, they can walk around for months and years with no symptoms of having anything and have a full-blown disease. Okay? With that being said, we do a disservice to ourselves when we don't know what's going on with our bodies. Casual sex is just a norm in this society, But no one ever tells you the heartbreak. No one ever tells you the hospital visits. No one tells you that side of that story. So that is the reason why I'm giving my testimony on today, because I want to encourage you all who are newly diagnosed. I want you to stay encouraged. It is not the end of the world for you. Quite frankly, there are worse things. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. You know, I've been through a lot in my existence as a gay black man. I've been through a lot. It took a lot for me to understand my worth. It took me a lot to understand, you know, my part in it. It always boils down to accountability. It always boils down to, how did you get yourself here? What could you have done different? Sometimes the shoulda, coulda, wouldas is irrelevant. You just gotta move on, okay? And that's something that I always kind of had to grow accustomed to, even through heartbreak with guys. You know, you have to, sometimes you don't get closure to say, you know, the way that you want it. You know what I mean? You have to bring closure to yourself. So I just want to encourage y'all out there that if you have been newly diagnosed with HIV, you know anybody that's living with HIV, I want you guys to be educated. I want you guys to be encouraged about this, because at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world for you. I would say after I was diagnosed in May, after taking my medication, shout out to Big Tarvey, wonderful medication. After a month of taking my medication, I was already non-detectable, meaning that I could not transmit this to anyone else. My numbers were impeccable, not even a month after taking my meds. You have new things out there now. You have PrEP out there, but even in the gay society, it seems guys think that PrEP kind of alleviates them, you know, from the responsibility of taking care of their bodies, and it doesn't. PrEP does not prevent everything. I need you guys to understand that PrEP does not prevent everything. So the important thing is to value yourself. The important thing is to use protection. I was one of those guys that did not use protection. I was so trusting of the guys that I was laying down with, even though I shouldn't have been. You live and you learn. So I want to encourage y'all out there that if you know anyone battling with this, if you know anyone that is battling with accepting this, because a lot of people, they're stuck right where they were when they got this news. No, they didn't grow, they didn't heal, they didn't bother to eat better, they didn't bother to exercise, they didn't bother to do anything. But I want to encourage you guys. I want to let y'all know it's not the end of the world. Stay strong, stay true to you, protect yourself, value your temple. And most of all, just love yourself. Love yourself. I can't stress it enough. Trust me, I have a book that I am going to be doing on this specific testimony, and I want to dive deeper into it. I want to do a children's book. I also want to do an adult book. But I want to start with the children's book. I want to kind of like an anecdotal book. I'm going to name it The Boy in the Mirror. And I basically want to teach, you know, show my testimony, but I also want to encourage people and young gay black men coming up into this society to cherish themselves. It's not how the world views you, it's how you view yourself. That's going to be the most important thing in carrying you through this life. You're going to have enough self-love for yourself to say, you know what, this is where I draw the line, and I ain't compromising on that. Okay? So I just want to thank you guys for listening to my testimony. There's a whole lot more where that came from. I mean, if you wanna contact me for any kind of encouraging words on how to get through this, hit me up. Like I said, this is my first time coming out with my story. This is my first time letting the world know, hey, it happened to me too. There's a lot of ignorance that comes behind the thought of HIV. I hear a lot of people still to this day joke about it all the time. Oh, they must be got that as I die slowly. Oh, they must be got that. They must be got that thing. You know what I'm saying? It's so ignorant. It's so ignorant because there's so much out there that will cause you a whole lot more pain than HIV. Trust me. Okay? So, you know, we got to get educated. We got to start taking accountability, and we have to start looking at our lives and start truly cherishing our lives, start treating our bodies, treating ourselves like flowers. You know what I'm saying? Being delicate with ourselves. If you run across anybody that tells you, oh, I don't use protection. If you run across anybody that tells you, oh no, well, dang, you know, no, do not compromise, okay? Do not compromise. You will pay for compromising. If you do not know who that person laid down with, and you don't know their background checks, you don't know their paperwork, they don't have no paperwork, then you need to move around. You need to keep it moving. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. This ain't no doom and gloom. This ain't to strike no fear in you. This is to stay encouraged. This is to help you stay encouraged. It will not be the end of the world for you, but do everything that you can in your power to keep your temple as pure and as clean as possible. If you have to abstain from having sex until you find somebody that can respect you enough to say, no, what, I respect you enough to wear protection, then you do that. Do not compromise that with none of these men, because trust and believe they're gonna try you. They're gonna try you, okay? So I just want to kind of just get that story out there. You know, like I said, there's a whole lot more where that came from, but I just want y'all to stay encouraged. I want y'all to understand that it's not the end of the world, and this is my unique story. I'm strong. My numbers are better now than ever. You know, every day ain't necessarily a good day. You know what I'm saying? Some days, you know, I have to monitor myself like, okay, am I feeling 100 today, or am I feeling, 50? You know, you have to monitor yourself. But it also comes with taking care of yourself. You have to eat right. You have to exercise. You got to take care of your body, because not only do you have this already kind of fighting against you, you also have to understand that there are other things out there that can trigger what you already have going on. So I just kind of want to encourage you guys. Thank you guys for listening to my story. I am your boy Lance Rhodes. I'll be doing more beauty videos in the future, just to provide more encouragement. If there's something that you guys want to see, holler at me, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.